In terms of mobility, the main research question is, has mobility improved? And we have found that mobility has improved in terms of time, in terms of safety, and in terms of comfort. So, of course, the time to reach metro lines for the residents in the highest area reduced from over 1 hour and a half to 7 minutes to reach the metro on land. It is a greater safety and greatest comfort. The baseline are pirate buses operated with overpopulation in the bus, no control of speed, and this has been tackled, solved by the Metro. And the main group of users is formal sector workers. This is important because when we're measuring time and the time to reach the final destination, we have to consider walking distance to the stations. But before mentioning that, I think it's important to introduce a gender dimension to this analysis. The main group of cable car users are formal sector workers because there is the same tariff regardless of the distance that it's going to be traveled. And it's highly convenient in terms of costs for workers to pay one ticket and travel a long cost. While women, most of the time, do what is called multi-purpose trips. So when they go out, they tend to do several trips, and it would be more expensive. The Metro is 200 pesos more expensive. That would be like 30 cents. Also, in terms of the usually excluded and who has been excluded from this process, when we consider walking distance to the stations, when people are not as close, they will have sometimes to take a bus, or they will have time sometimes to walk 45 minutes or 40 minutes, and then it wouldn't compensate the access to the Metro Cable, and they would go for cheaper options as is the public buses previously operating. And that leads us to the conclusion that the advantages are still measured in terms of costs over time. In terms of social inclusion, and this is a very important dimension of the project, we have identified that there has been an increased self-esteem and sense of inclusion in the community. People are proud of the transformation that they have lived with this process and have an awareness of the spaces for participation. This is it's more visible, it's more clear in those comunas that have developed local plans and have participated in participatory budgeting. Important in the symbolic dimension that we also approach is how once stigmatized neighborhoods now feel part of the city in both ways. So now people feel they have the right to access the city and to receive the residents of the city and integrate the city. And this has had consequences in employment and livelihood strategies as well, because from the outside they were stigmatized and many people wouldn't employ residents with those addresses, this sense of insecurity and unsafetyness. The physical and symbolic integration to previously no-go areas have increased this tourism, this flow of people in double ways. As I previously mentioned with the backyard league, this has been even more strong. Now we see like a linear process of continuity where the city expands in both ways. And it's a bit of a concern where early projects were highly participatory and recent ones are much less. We will have to go in depth on that, but that has to do also by the scale in which participatory budget can be actually sustained and the difficulties in growing and all the tensions around this, and with political current events of wanting to achieve votes and show a bit more of an image than a real transformation. So we have the title of our project is actually Local Governance, Urban Mobility and Poverty Reduction, so lessons learned from Medellín, Colombia. We're having the international workshop Julio referred to. We're having it in Medellín from the 12th to the 14th of December, and there we're going to present a bit more in depth the findings and and bringing commentators so we can finalize a version with different inputs by the end of March. So hope you can do it, and thank you.